Samaysar.
Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Ariyantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Uvajjayanam. Om Omkaram Bindu Samyuktam Nityam Dhayanti Yoginam Kamadam Mokshadam Chayo Omkaraya Namo Namah. Namah Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Bhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Ajnanatimirandanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Varto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Etirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Panitivu Jina Kunda Dhaniyatma Ahote Gurakano Ahote Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Anupamagati Pamela Sarve Siddhane Pandikaho Sutta Kevali Pasita Asamaya Prapata Are Eka Sutta Sada Arupi Jnana Darasanamay Kare Ayanyate Maru Chari Paramanu Matra Nathiyari Jamnetra Tema Jnana Nathikara Nati Vedakare Jani Jakaramo Daini Rajara Bandate Majamokshani Om Namah Siddhivyo Om Namah Siddhivyo Om Sri Sudatmane Namaha. Jai Jirendra. Today is August 22, 2018, Wednesday, and we're continuing our Swadhay on Samaysar. So finally, last week we were able to finish 13th stanza, and now we learned a lot from the 13th stanza. So up to 13th stanza, we have a pretty good idea what Samaysar wants to tell us. As we see,
Mane, I don't know if it's my audio, but I'm not hearing you well. Is anybody else having issue?
Ketan, is the same thing at your...
No, I can hear fine.
You can hear fine? Okay.
You can hear fine?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear fine.
Okay, so it must be my phone then. Okay, thank you.
Here, 1 second. Because not at my place, I'm at my son's place, so there is little change in the settings. Okay. So, can you hear a little better now? I think she's reconnecting. Okay. So we are here on Samaysar stanza 13. We finished. As we had said before, that a total 16 stanza. First 16 stanza are the important, and they are the heart of Samaysar basically. And so first 13 stanza, first 16 stanza, if we have pretty good grip on it, then we have idea what Samaysar whole thing wants to talk in up to 415 stanza. So here we are, now that we have finished 13 stanza, we'll be going to 14, 15 and 16, and they are important stanza also because 14 stanza talks about Samyak Darshan, 15 stanza talks about Samyak Gyan, and 16 stanza talks about Samyak Darshan, Gnan, Charitra, all three things together. So those things are coming, and while they are coming, Amritchandra Acharya also thought of writing some Kalash in between. Remember, as we said, that Kunkuna Acharya, they wrote down 415 stanza on Samaysar about 2,000 years back, and about 1,000 years back, our Amritchandra Acharya Dev wrote down critiques on this stanza, and while he wrote down critiques, he also thought about adding something more and he inserted some of his own slok, some of his own creation in between Samaysar stanzas. So 13th stanza is over, and now Amritchandra Acharya Dev writes a couple of sloks on it. So that will be slok number 8 that we'll be going through. But that slok number 8 is called Kalash number 8. And again, each stanza has own importance, and this stanza is simple 4 lines are there, but expansion is so much that it just asks us to prepare our basis for philosophy and all the things. So without talking much, I'll bring the screen and then we'll start talking about it and we'll see. Okay, so this is slok number 8. It's Sanskrit, and those who don't understand, don't worry about it. We'll make the meaning out of it. I'll sing that first. Chiramiti navatatvachannam muninnayamanam kanakamiva nimagnam varnamala kalape atha satata viviktam drashyatameka-rupam pratipadamidam-atmam jyotirudyotamanam. So this is what Amritchandra Acharya wrote down. This is Kalash number 8. Remember, there are 278 Kalash and 415 stanza. 415 stanza, they were originally written by Kunkuna Acharya Dev 2000 years back. And then Amritchandra Acharya Dev wrote down in between appropriately wherever he felt like, he inserted these sloks. That's called Samaysar Kalash. Kalash means at the top of the temple there's a pinnacle. Pinnacle is a one, because of the pinnacle the whole temple is looking beautiful. Similarly, these are called pinnacle or Kalash. So Kalash, that's why whole Samaysar is looking that beautiful. So that's what Kalash means. So or Kalash or slok, we wrote down a slok number 8, but it actually is a Kalash number 8. So now let's try to see what Amritchandra Acharya Dev wants us to understand in this Kalash. So there is a slokarth over here. I'll read Gujarati. આ રીતે નવ તત્વમાં ઘણા કાળથી છુપાયેલી આ આત્મજ્યોતિને જેમ વર્ણોના સમૂહમાં છુપાયેલા એકાકાર સુવર્ણને બહાર કાઢે તેમ શુદ્ધ નહીંથી બહાર કાઢી પ્રગટ કરવામાં આવી છે. માટે હવે હે ભવ્ય જીવો, હંમેશા આને અન્ય દ્રવ્યોથી તથા તેમનાથી થતા નૈમિતિક ભાવોથી ભિન્ન એકરૂપ દેખો. આ જ્યોતિ પદે પદે અર્થાત પર્યાય પર્યાય એકરૂપ ચિત્ત ચમત્કાર માત્ર ઉદ્યોતમાન છે. This is the meaning of this slok that we just read. We will be going through the detail about it, and we'll just going through the meaning of that one in English also. There's a bhavarth on it. Bhavarth means આ આત્મા સર્વ અવસ્થાઓમાં વિધવિધ રૂપે દેખાતો હતો, તેને શુદ્ધનયે એક ચૈતન્ય ચમત્કાર માત્ર દેખાડ્યો છે. તેથી હવે સદા એકાકાર જ અનુભવ કરો, પર્યાય બુદ્ધિનો એકાંત ન રાખો, એમ શ્રી ગુરુનો ઉપદેશ છે. What does it says over here? Basically, in general, that when we learn up to 13th stanza, in the 13th stanza we learn that there are 9 elements are there: living, non-living, auspicious inclination, inauspicious inclination, inflow, bondage, stoppage, shading, and liberation. Those 9 elements are there. So this soul was looking in the 9 different forms. I was seeing the soul in the form of living, in the form of non-living, in the form of auspicious inclination, inauspicious inclination, so on and so forth. Now, it says that that is not important. First, it's important to know all the 9 reals, the 9 elements, the way they are. But now you don't stop there. Now you go one step beyond. And what is that one step beyond? In those 9 elements, there was one unit was sitting in that unit called indivisible unit, that is called Chaitanya Chamatkar Matra, means a conscious element. Conscious element means eternal true nature of the conscious soul that was hiding within. On those nine elements, we knew within those 9 elements the conscious eternal nature of the soul was hiding within. How do I know that one? From the pure point of view, I will know it. And then it says one has to experience that eternal pure nature of the soul, and that is the aim. Remember last week we said that in a Tattvat Sutra, Umaswati said that the nine tattva he said, and 9 elements he says, and then at the end he says tattvam. Tattvam means it is a singular sentence that even this with this all these 9 plural things are there. There is one singular thing hiding behind, and that is eternal soul substance. For example, we have the mala in our home, and we rosary, and we just move those beads one at a time, so the 108 beads are there. But if we just carefully look at it, within those 108 beads, there's a thread inside. The thread is making everybody connected together. Similarly, in these 9 elements, there is a connecting thread, and there's an eternal pure nature of the soul. And ultimately, that is my aim. That is my goal. Knowing 9 elements means nothing. They are the modal aspect, and modal aspect means inclination of attachment. Remember all the time. This is the one of the things that we have to have in our mind. Modal aspect means inclination of attachment state. Modal પર્યાય દ્રષ્ટિ એ રાગ કરાવે છે. પર્યાય દ્રષ્ટિથી રાગ થાય છે. That's all we have to remember. Now, but we have talked about that how that modal vision, modal point of view gives inclination of attachment. We have seen that before, quickly saying that I see mango right now. A mango is green in color. I want to enjoy the sweet mango, and green mango is supposed to be sour mango. So I just said, this is a green mango, and I make kind of a derogatory adjustment in my mind. When I see a gold color skin on that mango next day, I said, that looks pretty good. So now, whenever I say division in anything, any divisional aspect, when I see something, that means it produces inclination of attachment. Whenever there are divisions involved, that means inclination of attachment. Division means I have 5 senses. That mango is sitting there. That mango is perfect. That mango is unique in its own way, complete. Now, when I see from the eye, I can see from the color aspect. When I smell from the nose, I smell from the nose aspect. When I touch, I'm touching it from my skin aspect. And when tasting, I'm tasting it from my tongue aspect. So now I made a division: seeing, smelling, touching, and tasting. So whenever the mango is complete whole thing, but I made a division by my knowing. When I'm knowing from my eye, I'm not smelling. When I'm smelling, then I'm not tasting. When I'm tasting, I'm not touching. So I can do only partial knowledge because of the senses. So any object, when I look at it from the modal, from the senses aspect, then I can do only one sense at a time. And that's why the whole mango is hard to touch, green to color and sour to taste and flat in smell and everything. That's a whole mango with everything there. But my sense is they picked up only one thing at a time. So in a whole thing, to pick up one thing, that means it is producing influence of attachment state. So whenever I use the sensual aspect, when my sense organ, and I make any knowledge of any substance, means it's a divisional aspect. And means divisional aspect means it's a rag state. So that is my influence of attachment state. So when
Kirit, I'm sorry to interrupt. When you get a chance, could you repeat this bhavart? Would you mind?
Yeah. What it is, it says that basically when Atma ne sarva avasthaon ko vidvid rupe dekhato hato. I was looking at 9 elements. I was looking at living, non-living, auspicious inclination, inauspicious inclination of inflow, bondage, stoppage, shading, and liberation. Means divisional aspect. I was looking at it. So it is just like that mala means rosary, and I was looking at those beads. But all the beads are connected through a thread inside. Similarly, all these 9 elements are connected through a thread inside, which is an eternal soul substance in the indivisible way. In the rosary, the thread is indivisible. It's a complete one thread only holding everybody together. Similarly, eternal soul substance is holding all these 9 elements, even though they are different, but it holds them together. So it is not the beads that I'm going to worry about. It's a thing which is holding those beads together. It's not 9 elements I'm going to worry about. It's an eternal soul substance which is holding those 9 elements together in the indivisible pattern, and that has to be my aim. So, if I'm as we said last week, Tattvat Sutra saying, and this is the beauty of the Jain Acharyas. They write down very small little sentence, and then it leaves up to me, it leaves up to us to expand for our understanding. So they were writing, he wrote down those 9 elements in a plural way. And then at the end he said Tattvam. Tattvam. Tattvam means the guy who is holding all these 9 elements together. That's way you have to have your aim. And this is what it says the same way. So, Vidvid rupe dekhato to means different. The 9 elements were different, and from the pure point of view, I just saw it indivisible, eternal, conscious nature, soul substance. And that's all I have to look at it. I have to aim on it. That means I will be getting experience about it, and that's what I have to do. This is what it says in Bhavat. Now, does it make sense? Chirag?
આપણે અહીંયા ચૈતન્ય ચમત્કાર આવી રીતના કેમ?
Chaitanya means ke Chaitanya means eternal, conscious nature, soul substance. That's what it means. You know?
પણ ચમત્કાર as in miracle, as it's a miracle that you can access. I mean, sorry, એનો અનુભવ થઈ શકે એમ. ઈ ભાવના છે.
Miracle means the thing which you are not seeing, and now you end up seeing. That's why it's called miracle. So 9 elements, they were there. I saw them. I perceived them. But in the thing which was hidden inside, when it's a chamatkar, when it's a magic, when it appears with my own pure point of view's information, then it's called Chaitanya Chamatkar. And remember, these are the highly intellectual saints, and they are using extreme flowering language. Sometimes you can get lost also, because whatever comes in their mind, they just write down those things. Whenever they are in the, when they are experiencing the soul substance, and when they come out, whatever bhav comes out, whatever inclination comes out, that's what they write. So Chaitanya Chamatkar means conscious natured eternal soul substance, basically, Okay. So having said that, now see what happens here. First he did the meaning of the stanza, then he gives explanation, and then what happens? Suddenly Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev said, wait a second, am I done? Over here, he wrote down this stanza, he gave the meaning, he gave the detailed explanation about it, and then suddenly he says, wait a second, I'm missing something. So he adds something more again in the critiques. So this is what he says. And in that critiques, that is a very, very, very powerful thing that he has mentioned, because in this critique, he mentions about comprehensive knowledge, partial point of view, and object of knowledge. He describes those things. He describes praman, he describes nai, he describes nikshep, and those kind of things he describes. And we will be going through those things because those are the basis for the knowledge. I am soul having knowing capacity. What is that knowing capacity means? So he dissects in so microscopic way for us to understand. So it gives us opportunity to understand those points. Comprehensive knowledge means praman gnan. Partial point of view, which is called nai. We have done that nai partial point of view in great detail in 11th stanza. So probably it will be kind of quick revision, but the comprehensive knowledge, we have not done it. So we'll be going in detail about it. And also nikshep means an object of knowledge. So those are the things, it will be giving us time to go through those kind of things. So those kind of things he says, and that way he just completes a whole stanza, whole slope that way. So this slope becomes very important for us because it just gives us some basis for us to build up our knowledge base. So this kind of this slope 8 will be kind of a pillar for our spiritual building. So this will be an important thing to go through it. So again, now we'll be just dissecting each and every word of it. We just give prelude about it. Now we just go through all those things again. Again, same. Chiramiti navatattvachannam muninayamanam kanakamiva nimagnam varnamala kalape atha satata viviktam drasyatameka pratipadamidam jyotirudodhamanam. So each and every word now we'll try to dissect. It says iti means in this way. There is word iti here. Now this is the, again, because we don't know much Sanskrit, so we won't understand the slok completely. Of course, we are trying to make it in the English translation, but the Sanskrit language is such that there is a verb, and from the verb, a word is constructed. And there are different ways the word is getting constructed from that verb. So from a word is constructed, and there are different principles are there, different rules and regulations are there, and it is amazing. Plus, to make it shortest form of the language, they merge two words together. For example, over here, chiram and iti, there two words are there, so it's merged together. It's chirmiti, chiram and iti. So those kind of sandhi means those kind of words are there which have been merged together, and that's why it makes a smallest place, but when you expand, it becomes a huge thing. So here, word iti means in this way, chiram navatattva channam idam atma jyoti, that is over here, navatattva channam idam atma jyoti, hidden, hidden it from a long time in the 9 elements. We just go through the name, meaning, and then we'll just make it expansion. Varna mala kalape nimagnam kanakam eva. To take out pure gold from mixture of other metal within. Unniyamanam, manifested with pure point of view. Satat viviktam, to separate forever from other substances and the inclination of occurring due to them being instrumental cause. Ekrupam, oneness. Drashyamanam, to perceive. Pratipad udyatmanam means this eternal self is perceived in oneness form in each mode. So this is the meaning of the literal meaning of each and every word. We just took it out. What does that mean actually? I didn't understand. Nobody understood what we spoke on all these things. Yes, that's where the fun begins. That we have to now understand what is Amrit Chandracharya Dev wants us to talk about here. So what it says over here. Pure eternal self was hidden in the 9 reals since time infinite in the past. We know that part. From the 13th stanza, we know that 9 reals are there, and behind the 9 reals, eternal soul substance is hidden since time infinite in the past. 9 reals are there forever, and so is eternal soul substance staying there forever. So pure eternal self was hidden in the 9 reals since time infinite in the past. Okay? Now, how do I bring that one out? The pure eternal self which is hidden, how do I bring it out? So it says, pure point of view becomes helpful in the manifestation of this real self. Now, what is pure point of view? This is a new word coming, but we are the student of 11th stanza. So we have gone from the absolute point of view and conventional point of view and completely together partial point of view. And in that partial point of view, the pure point of view means a suddhanai. The absolute point of view. Absolute point of view and conventional point of view, we have 2 divisions in the partial point of view. Nai means partial point of view can be divided into absolute point of view and conventional point of view. And absolute point of view can also be said pure point of view. Means you speak the way it is, period. Eternal soul substance is eternal soul substance, period. So from absolute point of view, pure point of view, it becomes helpful for us to for the manifestation of this real self which is hidden in these 9 elements. So I want to find it out. So this becomes pure point of view, becomes vehicle for me to have me getting manifestation of this real self, and then to make these 9 reals as secondary and to make a real self as a principal thing. So in a given substance, me as a soul substance, I have a pure point, I have an eternal soul substance residing within me, and in the mode it's been manifested with the 9 division of elements. Living, non-living, auspicious inclination, inauspicious inclination, etc., etc., etc. So I know the modal aspect, but from modal aspect, with a pure point of view, I can go within and I can manifest that eternal soul substance. One has taken away his modal faith and brought it to eternal self. So by this second bullet, when it's a pure point of view, I use the support of pure point of view and I go to the eternal self and I make modal faith as secondary. So that's what it tried to tell in the slok that we sang just now before. Furthermore, Now it tries to give us some example. It just, Chandracharya said, well, I taught this one. Maybe I felt that you didn't understand completely. So he tries to give us example. What he says, initially, when we go to the mine, gold mine, and we take the rock or we take the dust, this gold is mixed with that impurity of dust and other metals. So initially gold is impure with the other metals and dust, etc., etc., etc. Then when I pass that gold dust and gold rock and that impure gold through the fire, different colors of different metals are perceived. If we have gone through the chemistry classes, then to find out, they identify a given substance given to us in a beaker. Then we use the tungsten wire, and then from there we put it to fire, and crimson color comes out, means it's a property of certain element, and other red color is property of certain other elements and everything. Similarly, when I pass this gold through the fire, different elements are giving different hue, different colors. So different metals are perceived in that way, that they just say that this gold is not pure. Okay? Then gold and other metals are they are separate in the nature. Even though gold and other metals are remaining in that mine together forever in the longest possible time, but still copper is copper, zinc is zinc, and gold is gold, and dust is dirt, dirt is dirt. So they are remaining together, but they are still separate. Water and oil are put it in the beaker, and no matter how much shaking I can do, ultimately water will become water and oil become oil. So they can be separated out. Or milk and water. Let's say that I added water in the milk and it just sprayed it through so much that I don't see any water inside. I can just see the white milk only. But when I start boiling that one, water disappears and only milk remains. So that way I can separate them out. So gold is hidden in these impurities. Gold is impure with other metal, and with other metals, gold is hidden in these impurities. That's what it tries to tell us. That gold is hidden there, gold is hidden there, gold is hidden there. Same way, my eternal soul substance is like a gold. It's hidden along with the metal impurities, along with the 9 elements. So here he gives example. Now, remember one thing in the philosophy and in Jain philosophical perspective, the examples are given to us. Examples are given to prove the point, to prove the principle. Here the principle is gold is mixed with the eternal soul substance is hidden with those 9 elements. That's a principle. That I have to find it out with pure gold or pure nature of self. So here now he gives example of this metal, gold, and other metals mixed with the gold. So remember, the example is given to prove a particular point. One cannot dissect the example alone. A point that I would like to make is last year, for example, Hemant Bhai came and we were in New Jersey, and the host said that some non-Jain families are coming. Is it okay? And Hemant Bhai said it's okay. So here we are talking deep philosophical part. And Hemant Bhai wanted to convey that the sugar and sweet taste, they are inherent nature. When you say sugar, means sweetness. When you say sweetness, means sugar. Because they are part of it. They are inherent. One can't be there without other. He was trying to give example of the soul and the knowledge. knowledge and soul. Soul is knowledge, knowledge is soul. He was trying to convey that point. And the person, then he gives this example of sugar and sweetness. Now, the person who is sitting is a non-Jain person. He starts arguing. He starts dissecting the example. And he says, who says sugar has to be sweet? Wait, sugar is sweet, right? Well, I don't believe that. I mean, so he started on the wrong tangent, not understanding that example is meant for example to convey the principal point. And so everything got degenerated at the time. So the point is, whenever we hear example, remember that example, number one, is a principle, and to explain the principle, example is given. You can't go other way around and just take the example and try to fit the principle with that. So keep that one in mind. So example is example. Now, eternal pure nature of the self is hidden. Now, see, this gold thing that he talks about here, gold example is given. Now he comes to the real principle that eternal pure nature of the self is hidden among the modal form of 9 reals. 9 reals are there, 9 elements are there, and eternal pure nature is hiding in those things. Now, 9 modes in the modal form and eternal self in the substance form, and they are separate in nature. Means 9 elements are separate by themselves, as we have understood by now. That the auspicious inclination and inauspicious inclination both are entirely separate. The inflow and bondage are entirely separate. Inflow, bondage, and inclination of attachment, inclination of aversion, or auspicious inclination on one side, and then stoppage is another entirely different element. And so is shading is another element, and ultimately liberation is also another element. So they are separate by themselves. We know all those 9 things are separate by themselves, and we know from their characteristics that how can I say this is inauspicious inclination? How can I say this is auspicious inclination? How can I say this is stoppage? How can I say this is shading and everything? The scripture gives those examples. Scripture takes us for those things. For example, the inflow is about 5 different types, and the bondage is 4 different types, and the stoppage is 57 different types, and shading is 12 different types. All kind of things we have learned before. Or if you're not learned, we can go in our own individual way and read those chapters and understand those parts. But those 9 modes and eternal soul substance, they are separate because 9 modes are modal form, and eternal soul substance is substance form, and so mode and substance are separate in nature. In the gold, the copper and zinc is one thing, and gold is another thing. That's what it tries to tell us over here. Now, with my personal effort, and with the help of pure point of view, I separate those 2 elements, the eternal pure nature of the soul on one side, and also 9 elements on the other side. Pure point of view makes this division. Just like in the gold, we use the heat, and heat made all those things separated out. Similarly over here, I use the pure point of view, and that is going to help me out. Pure point of view is a basically sharp knowledge. Sharp knowledge, I have it. That sharp knowledge will help me separate from the eternal soul substance from the 9 elements of modal form. There is one stanza coming, I think, in sometimes in a Moksha Adhikar in a later part in the Samaysar, that pragna chini thaki chedata banne juda padi jai che. Pragnachini means a sharp knowledge of chisel. That chisel separates the two parts of rocks. You put the chisel on one part and you hit there, and the rock becomes two pieces. Similarly, here, this chisel of a sharp knowledge, which is over here mentioned as a pure point of view, that you hit that one, and on one side is a 9 reals in a modal form, and other side we will have a eternal soul substance, and that eternal soul substance is my area of interest. All the things I came from outside and just from the alien objects of the universe, then I came to the modal aspect. From modal aspect, now I separated them out, and ultimately, with a pure point of view, I went to the eternal soul substance. So this is what I'm trying to do over here. In every moment, this eternal pure form is separate from modal form of 9 reals. Every time that gold in the gold mine mixed with the dirt, mixed with the other metals, still gold was a gold, and that's it. Appeared to be same, but they were separate. So same way here, eternal pure nature of the soul in a nigod, or in me, or in us, or in any other the enlightened person, they both are separate. Eternal soul substance is separate and modal part is separate. In fact, modal aspect of Aryan Bhagwan, modal aspect of Siddha Bhagwan is separate from Aryan Bhagwan's eternal soul substance or Siddha Bhagwan's eternal soul substance. So they are always separate. Appears to be together, but they are separate. They are so closely appear to be together, but they are separate. In this room, I can put 4 different light bulbs, and each light bulb will be having its individual light present in each and every minutest part of this room. 4 light bulbs, then 4 different color will be appear to be inseparable. They will be present in each and every part of the space point of the room. But with my proper way, I can separate those 4 color: red color, green color, yellow color, or white color. I can switch off each one as individually, and I can see that white color disappeared, yellow disappeared, red disappeared, and the green disappeared. So something like that. So here, soul and eternal soul and the 9 elements were together, but they are made separate. They can be separated out. They can be separated out with my pure point of view. So this is there. So 13 stanzas say the same thing. Now Amrit Chandra Acharya said, hey, I'm talking from different angle. I had this inclination came to give some more insight to this one. So after saying that, he keeps on going further, and we'll just see what he say. Now, in Gurudev Sri, when he's talking about this situation, he gives the reference of 16 stanza. 16th stanza, which will be coming later on. It says, Por davao dugai. There is a word called Por davao dugai. Means, Por dava means alien belongings. The alien objects. Alien belonging. The phone is separate from me. This house is separate from me. My car is separate from me. My family is separate from me. That I know. But this physical body is separate from me. It takes a little time to understand. But okay, now I'm Samaysar student, so I grab that. Okay. Then my inclination of attachment and aversion occurring within me are separate from eternal soul substance. That takes time, and that's why one has to learn to the 13th stanza. Now that we have learned, so we said, okay, 9 elements or rag and dvesh are separate from the eternal soul substance. So, alien belonging are dugai. Dugai means their reason for transmigration. Durgati. They are reason for durgati. Durgati means they are giving me transmigration. They give me sansar. They make me wander in this transmigration. So when my attachment to the alien belonging, then I'm going to the, I'm continuing in my transmigration. If instead of an alien belonging, if I bring my my faith to the eternal soul substance, then it is the reason for me to get liberation, to get the proper liberated place where I can have an eternal bliss and knowledge occurring forever and ever and ever. So I am the reason. I understand. Acharya Bhagavan doesn't give me much choice. He says only two choices I'm giving you. You're the alien belonging and you'll go in transmigration. You're the eternal soul substance faith and you'll go for liberation. In alien belonging, there is an intense misery forever. And the liberation, there's an intense bliss and knowledge forever. What do you want? Simply he asks you that question. He doesn't give us much choices. He just says simple two choices. You pick it up, you decide, and you will be your own future. So whole exercise we are doing so that I can be in my eternal pure state. I can get engrossed in that one, and as a result I can get a liberation. As a result I can be in the pure blissful state which remains forever and ever and ever. What do I want? On one side, I'm standing in Panama. I'm standing in the Panama Canal. In Panama Canal, one side is the Atlantic Ocean, one side is Pacific Ocean. Pacific Ocean, for example, is full of bliss and happiness. Atlantic Ocean, for example, is full of misery. Where do I want to go? Choice is mine. Nobody's telling me to go here or there. It's my choice. I can decide what I want to be. So all these things that I have physical comfort and family and surrounding and society and everything, you got that one infinite times in the past. Infinite time you came as a king and you were a ruler of the country and everything. You did get that one before, but it did not give you happiness. Happiness comes from within and by bringing attention to the eternal pure nature of the soul, and that's where your happiness stays, and that's what you should think about. That's a choice I'm given. I don't want to do it, it's my problem. Nobody else's problem. I can't blame it that, that philosophy is teaching me wrong way. Nothing doing. I have discriminative science within my mind, and I can decide that I am a conscious natured soul substance. I have consciousness, I have knowledge. I can find it out what's the best for me. Alien belonging means over here he says body, speech, mind, spouse, family, business, and as a result of all those things, they all produces inclination of attachment state, and that prevents the siddha realms of existence. So that prevents me to get liberation. This inclination of attachment occurring because of body, speech, mind, spouse, family, business, etc., that produces inclination, and that's why I can't attain my liberation state. I can't attain samyak darshan. I can't attain enlightenment. I want to have it. I can do all those things. So choice is mine. Nobody is to be blamed over here. Now, so in each mode, whether that mode is from the lowest form of life, Nigod, or the omniscient Lord, or it could be the mode of the Siddha Bhagwan too. Means any living object in the universe, starting from the lowest form of life to the 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents, human, animals, a celestial being or infernal being, everybody, or even we take the omniscient Lord or the Siddha Bhagwan, everybody has a mode. Everybody has a mode. And that mode, what does it do? In each mode, the oneness of eternal self is evident. Oneness of the eternal self is evident in the sense, if you remember from the basic Jain principles, that each mode has a three forms: origination, cessation, and constancy. Utpat, Vyay, Dravya. A mode gets originated, and when it's originated, then previous mode get disintegrated. Previous mode getting disintegrated, at the same time new mode gets originated, and in between there is a constancy is there forever. So in each mode, oneness of the eternal self is evident in the form of constancy. That constancy keeps everybody bind together since time infinite in the past and time infinite in the future. So the constants, each mode has a new mode originates, previous mode disintegrates, and constancy is there all the time. And that constancy is present in a lowest form of life of Nigot, or the omniscient Lord, or the liberated soul like Siddha Bhagavan. That constancy is always there. Now, this eternal self has capacity to pursue the whole universe. This eternal self that I have it within me right now has a capacity, dormancy. That capacity is hidden in the form of dormancy, that I can know the whole universe right now if I purify my eternal soul substance. I have capacity. It comes from within me because it is there within me right now. It is in dormancy right now. It is not awakened right now. It is not been purified. So it is sitting there, and it has I have capacity to know the whole universe. That means I am the Bhagwan. I am the. That's what Guru Devsi said. Tu Paramatma che em nakki kar. હું પરમાત્મા છું એમ નક્કી કર. Because I am the eternal soul substance. I am the pure. I have the capacity within me. I have the hidden capacity within me. I have capacity in a dormancy within me. And I can do my personal effort. And I can wake up that one. And I can be also Mahavir. I can be that Rishabdev. I can be that Ajitnath, because those are the liberated soul. And when I get liberated, I also go and sit down, stay there forever with those entities. So when I go to Siddha, when we go to Siddha, that means Mahavir and me are same. Now, so that the Bhavarth, that one that Chirag asked question. So we are coming to the Bhavarth now. Soul is perceived in the different forms. In the 9 different modes, soul has been perceived. That we know that part. Now, from pure point of view, the eternal self is getting perceived in the soul. I was perceiving since time infinite. I'm perceiving the 9 different forms. And now, with the pure point of view, I'm also I'm perceiving my eternal soul substance. One who wants to dissolve the transmigratory state has to perceive the eternal self only, which is hidden in the division of the 9 reals. These are the division of the 9 reals, and this guy is hidden there. And with my pure point of view, I can perceive that eternal soul substance. It's in my hand. It's in my nature. I can do it. I can make it. That kind of confidence I have to have it. One cannot just sit down and cry and say, what can I do? I'm a very weak human being. I don't have interest. I don't have idea. I don't have zeal to achieve more. And hey, you have everything with you. You just look within, and probably ruchi anuyayi virya. Wherever there is a ruchi means the when I have the affinity, when I have the affinity for certain thing, then I make my effort in that direction. We all are professional in our own way. That we decided that I would like to be in this field. I like this one. I have the liking for this subject, and that's why you excel in that subject, and that's why you excel in your whole life. And now the time comes that for getting the physical comfort in this life, I decided certain aim, and I achieved that aim, and it was doable. Same thing. My aim is now eternal soul substance, and my aim is to get the Samyak Darshan, and thereafter to get liberation. And when that kind of attitude I develop, that attitude, then my personal effort will be directed in that direction only, and I will obtain eternity. I'll obtain eternal soul substance, happiness, and everything. That's why in the life, don't get impressed by anybody's knowledge or anybody's position. Okay, he could be the president of the country, or he could be the biggest scientist, or he can fly the plane and everything, or he can do the minutest operations of the body and everything. Because he excel in that field, he liked that one. Same with a housewife had an intense interest in cooking, for example. Or housewife means spouse, let's put it that way. And that spouse has interest, and that spouse excel in that field. So you can excel in any field you like it, provided you have zeal to achieve that one. No age, there's no age bar for those kind of things. People in this country, when I was taking the medical students with me, there is one person came to me, and he became doctor at age 58 or 59. And I said, what happened to you? He said, well, I was in the construction industry, and this hospital was getting built and everything. And then I thought that, this hospital means doctors are there. Maybe I should become doctor. So at age 51 or 52, he decided to go to school, and he was going to college. And at the same time, his kids were going to college also. He became doctor. He wanted to achieve that one, so it can be done in this transmigratory world. Something I want to achieve, that I can get it. Why should I not have the same attention given to my eternity or eternal pure self? I can also make it. I can make it. I can make it. That attitude. Modes do exist, but don't give attention to that state. 9 reals are occurring, 9 elements are there, but they do exist, but I don't want to put attention to them. I make them secondary, and this is the message from the enlightened gurus for us. That candle is very, very important, giving me light at the darkness and everything. It's important. But the same candle during the sunlight, during the daylight, that candle is present. That candle is giving light, but considering sun's light, this candle's light becomes secondary. That means, quote unquote, non-existent. Secondary and thereby non-existent. Its existence is there, but we made it secondary, and that's why we said we don't want to pay attention to you right now. Similarly, 9 elements are there, 9 reals are there. I learned about them, and I learned everything about. Now, when I'm going to eternal soul substance's existence, then that modal existence, even though it's there, becomes secondary and thereby non-existent. Existence, but still non-existent. 2 people are there. One guy has a $5 in his pocket, other guy has $1 million in his pocket. Considering the $1 million guy, this $5 guy is called poor, or is called pauper or he's called nothing. But still, that guy with the $5 can go out and eat the sandwich and fill his stomach. So, but it is considering the other person, he is made secondary. His existence was made secondary. That's what we have to understand from these things. Now that we understand, this is actually, it comes to, let's see, okay. So it Amritchandra Acharya gives this verbal meaning of this stanza and everything. Now what it comes, once Amritchandra Acharya said this, once he said this one, he was done with this stroke number 8. He was done. And then suddenly he says, no. Something more is there. I mean, I need to instill something more inside. So what he says, once Amritchandra Acharya said this, then he got another idea and wanted to share that one with the students. So he just came out in his mind, something new, brand new idea came out. And he writes another tika. He already has one tika done, one commentary done, and one verbal meaning done, but now suddenly he gets, and this is not all the time. I think this is only the stanza he got that kind of idea. No, out of 415 stanza and 278 Kalash, this is only the time in which, after completing the commentary and everything, he just writes again something deeper inside. So that deeper thing is, as the important thing for one to manifest the eternal true nature of the self. See, what's the important thing? In Kalash 8, he kept on saying that most important thing for you right now at this juncture is to have manifest your eternal true nature of the self. You experience your eternal true nature of the self. That's important. Then, for this to happen, now he just goes deeper inside. He just takes us to the abyss. He's taking us to so deep that there is no point of return, basically. What he says, to understand the eternal true nature of the self, one need to that thing to happen, one need to take support of what? Praman Gnan, comprehensive knowledge. You have to know what comprehensive knowledge is there. You have to know what partial point of view is there. And you have to know what analysis of the truth of the object of knowledge is there. In the sense, Praman Gnan means comprehensive knowledge, means I have to know the soul and eternal soul substance and infinite attribute and modes and everything. And each mode has an origination, cessation, constancy, all those nitty-gritty things present in the soul. I have to know it completely. That's called comprehensive knowledge. Out of all those things that I know it comprehensively I know it, then I picked up what is the best things for me. And the best thing for me is experiencing eternal pure nature of the self. I, as a thief, want to do this, I want to steal something from a house. So first I understand the whole house. I'm the thief and I keep eye on that thing. When are the people coming? When are the people going? How many people are there? How many people are working? How many people are going to school and everything? What's a timeline in which there is nobody there in the house and everything? Now, how many rooms are there in the house? How many bedrooms are there? How many whatever. He knows every detail about the house. That's called comprehensive knowledge, including where is the money hidden in that house. He knows that part. Now that I, as a thief, enter that house, I know the whole anatomy of the house, and I know nobody's in the house. I know that there's a bathroom here, there's a kitchen over here, there's a living room, there's a family room, but my aim is only the vault, which is underground vault, That's where I have to go and pick up that one. So out of whole house, that's it. So that's a partial point of view. Nai, partial point of view. For that partial point of view, in the 11th stanza, we already went through a great detail. So we will we'll do the passing remark on that one about a partial point of view, about absolute point of view, and a conventional point of view. And it will give us one more reason to revisit what we learned before, so at least we don't forget those kind of things. Plus, I have to know nikshep means the object of knowledge also I have to know it. Object of knowledge. That object of knowledge means that hidden chest in the house. Where is that one? What kind of chest it is? Is it metal? Is it wood? It is box? What? I have to know the characteristics, how heavy it is and what color it is, all kind of things I have to know. That's called nikshep. So praman nahi nikshep. Those are the things I have to know it to understand eternal true nature of the self. In the soul, I have to know it. Complete soul structure and function of the soul, I have to know completely. How many attributes are there? What's the function of each and every attribute? Whether these attributes are functional or they are just immutable in nature. And then the modes are there. How many modes are there? What kind of modes are there from knowledge or knowledge attribute? What kind of mode comes out from the perception attribute? All kind of things that I know it. Knowing all these things, and then each mode has an origination, cessation, constancy, and all those things I learned. Now, out of which, what is the most important thing for me? That first one is I knew everything. It's a praman, comprehensive knowledge. Now, what's most important? Nai. Nai is most important, means partial point of view is important, means absolute point of view is important, means eternal soul substance is most important out of all things for me, and that's what my aim should be. And I should know about characteristics of that lot more in detail, object of knowledge. Nikshep. So having said that, he enters into this new chapter right away for us, and for that thing, he is giving us very important beginning to know the comprehensive knowledge, partial point of view, and object of knowledge. Having said that, now we will have a different sets of our slides coming out, and that will help us out to understand this one. And so we'll be going in somewhat detail about it, because these are most important basic principles. And as we said, remember Gurudev Sri, time to time in his pravachan also, he inserts new ideas to us, new principles he throws into it, and we are here to accept those things. And as a result, we are knowing lot more today than what we were knowing 2, 3, 4, 5 years back. That's what it is. So without any questions, without any further delay, I'll bring it to the other slide. Any questions so far in this one, so far for today's class? And then after we can go to the next one. Any questions? Okay. If there is none, then we can just go to the next set of slides. Stop share. Okay, so here we are, slideshow. From current slide. Okay, so here we are. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we have about 20 minutes. No, yeah, 20 minutes are there. We'll just continue. Beginning, introduction of this one. So, Praman Gnan means comprehensive knowledge. We must get used to these different names also, because time to time, now that you are having some base build up and everything, you would like to listen to the different experts also. And sometimes maybe it is that they may have language issue, and they may be speaking in Gujarati, for example, but we have to have some idea. Praman Gnan, when they talked about, means it's a comprehensive knowledge that should just like go in my brain, that they are talking about comprehensive knowledge. Praman Gnan, right? Okay, so now, what is Praman Gnan? Comprehensive knowledge of Praman Gnan means, what's a comprehensive knowledge? What's a Praman Gnan? Means it's a valid source of knowledge, or it's called organ of knowledge, or it's called comprehensive knowledge, or means of valid knowledge, or ultimately right knowledge, samyak gnan. So, Praman Gnan means samyak gyan. Praman Gnan means right knowledge. Praman Gnan means absence of wrong knowledge. Presence of right knowledge is called Praman Gnan. Now, that's from right knowledge means samyak gnan. When does that samyak gnan occur? When does samyak gnan occur in me right now? Let's put it that I am the soul, and when can I have samyak gyan with me? Only when I have samyak darshan, then that knowledge associated with samyak darshan is called samyak gnan. Once again, when I as a soul end up getting samyak darshan, then other side of the coin on that samyak darshan is called samyak gnan. What is samyak darshan now? Samyak darshan means I bring the faith to my eternal soul substance. My faith attribute has only two possible modes. One is a faith direct to the alien objects of the universe, or faith directed to my eternal soul substance. So, if I understand everything and reduce my dependency on the alien objects of the universe, and I take faith away from the alien objects of the universe, then my faith gets directed to the eternal soul substance, and that's a samyak darshan. When that occurs, then at the same time, whatever knowledge I have it, that knowledge becomes samyak gnan. Samyak gnan means having samyak darshan. What stage can I get samyak darshan? On the fourth gun sthanak, on fourth spiritual development state, I can get samyak darshan. So till I get experiencing of the soul, whatever knowledge I have it, it's not right knowledge. So what am I doing right now? I'm putting my hours and hours and hours for this kind of things. We are just going from this every Wednesday classes, hour and a half classes, and all kind of things. What does that mean? I'm doing the study how to obtain samyak darshan. Even though my knowledge is not called right knowledge right now, but I try to understand the process of obtaining samyak darshan. So this kind of knowledge, I get it, and ultimately when my faith gets directed to the eternal soul substance, then my knowledge, whatever knowledge is right now, it becomes samyak gnan. It becomes right knowledge, or it's called organ of knowledge, or it's called comprehensive knowledge, or means of valid knowledge, or it's called praman gnan. Praman gnan means having samyak gnan. So, can I have in this mithyatva gunsthanak at this point, can I have praman gnan in my first gunsthanak, which is the wrong belief gunsthanak stage? No. But my process, my efforts right now are directed towards obtaining the samyak gnan, means I'm trying to have my faith directed to my eternal soul substance. That means samyak darshan. That means that same time it's called samyak gnan. knowledge for Samyak Jnana. So that's a Praman Jnana definition. So remember from a 11th stanza, we talked about Nai also, partial point of view. When does a partial point of view is real within me? When there is Samyak Jnana, when there is Praman Jnana. When there is Praman Jnana, when there is Samyak Jnana, then I have the right form of a partial point of view within me. And so partial point of view also will be called in a fourth Gunsthanak, means with the Samyak Darshan. So all the thing I'm doing right now to understand partial point of view, to understand comprehensive knowledge, I am gathering all this information, putting it together, and so that I can be directed more towards eternal soul substance. My faith can be easily thereafter taken away from the alien object and can be directed to the eternal soul substance. All these exercises we are trying to do is to have my faith, which is toward alien objects of the universe, I would like to convert it towards my eternal soul substance. So Praman Jnana will become Praman at the time when I have Samyak Jnana. That's a point very important. That has to be deep-seated within our mind. So it should not, we should not make mistake about those things. Right now, I don't have it. Right now, I'm studying about this. Right now, I'm going in the direction to obtain Samyak Jnana, means Samyak Darshan, means right knowledge, means Praman Jnana, and all those things. Now, what does it say? Praman Jnana means thing is ascertained. Thing is ascertained on the basis of multiple properties, then the knowledge is known as Praman Jnana. What does that mean? Well, I am over here. This is this example now. I am Kirit right now. Again, remember this example we are giving. So, I am Kirit right now. But I am somebody's son and somebody's father, somebody's grandfather, somebody's grandchild, somebody's uncle, somebody's nephew. I was a physician before. I'm Jain right now. I live in Phoenix right now. I used to live in Baroda. I finished my medical school from Baroda. And all those nitty-gritty things about me, my own total existence, when on the basis of multiple property I have it. I'm an uncle, I'm the child, I'm grandchild, I'm a grandfather, I'm a whatever. All those things to know for multiple property is called Praman Jnana, or comprehensive knowledge. That Kirit example, we turn it into the soul. This soul is called soul, okay? This soul is impure right now in the modal aspect, okay? This soul has an infinite attributes within, okay? This soul has a knowledge attribute as a principal thing, the perception attribute, conduct attribute, faith attribute, bliss attribute, etc. Important attributes are within soul, okay? This soul is an eternal soul substance, was never created, will never die, it remains in pure form, it remains in immutable state, it remains in unique form, it remains in unique all the time. All those things that I knew about the soul substance is called Praman Jnana, comprehensive knowledge. Out of that comprehensive knowledge, ultimately, what is most important for me in this whole soul scenario that we describe, eternal soul substance, I have to have that narrow vision. Guru was a Drona, and the students were 5 Pandav and all 100 Kaurav. This from the Mahabharata. Drona is a teacher and he has taught all the important knowledge he instilled in those all those princes. And now final day comes and he says, I'm going to take example because I taught you everything about it. So let's take example, like exam. So he gives the bow and arrow and asks everybody that there is a bird, the replica of the bird on the tree, and I would like you to make sure that you throw the arrow and make sure that it passes through the right eye of that toy bird. So all these people are coming, all these princes are coming, and then Drone says, "What do you see?" Well, I see the sky. It's a blue sky, and the tree. Oh, okay, you failed. Get out, get out, get out. Other one says, "What do you see?" I see tree and I see branches and everything. Okay, fail. What do you see? I see branch and I see a bird and everything. Fail. Then the Arjun's time comes and Drone says, "What do you see?" He says, "Guruji, I can see only right eye of the toy bird, nothing but that only." And Drone says, "Throw your arrow." And he passed that way. Because his aim, everything is there as a praman gnan, comprehensive knowledge. But then he has a narrow aim, area of interest, what the toy bird's right eye. So everything else he knew, but then he made it everything secondary. He made that. Similarly, by knowing the whole structure of the soul and everything, that's important to know every detail about soul. But thereafter, what is most important? Eternal pure nature of the soul, substance is important, just like the right eye of the toy bird. So multiple property to know is called comprehensive knowledge. Valid knowledge is the knowledge which illuminates self and other things without any obstruction. So you know everything about soul and everything. From all different angles you know about it. That's okay. Without any obstruction means you know the way they are. That's it. So that's called comprehensive knowledge. Praman Gnan or right knowledge means determination of a nature of a substance. What's the nature of this substance? From different perspective, I had know it. From substantial perspective, it's like this. From eternal attribute perspective, it is like this. From the modal perspective, it is like this. From origination perspective, it's like this. From cessation perspective, it's like this. From constancy perspective, it's like this. And all kind of things that we know about the soul structure and function, that is called to know the soul from the structure and function aspect completely, comprehensively, is called comprehensive knowledge. Okay, having said that, now a praman takes the whole of real as a subject matter, the knowledge of reality which enlightens the whole of it simultaneously is praman. When you know me completely from different angles, who is my father, who is my grandfather, who is my son, who is my grandson, who are my brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts and nephews and nieces, all kind of things I know simultaneously. When I see Ketan, I know everything about him. When I see Priti, I know everything about her. I know Susmita Ben, I know everything about her. That is called comprehensive knowledge. I may not know so many details about all those entities, then it's not called Pramangna. It's not called comprehensive knowledge. So knowing the reality simultaneously. So when you know me, you already know whose son, whose father, whose grandfather, whose grandchild, and all those things, you know it within me. When somebody says, Kirit, you have some pictures comes in your mind and you know about it. That's called Pramangna. When you talk about soul, right away, whole thing that you know about soul, structure and function, that comes in your mind. Gurudev used to say, તને આત્મા કે તો તારા રૂવાડા ઊભા થવા જોઈએ કેમ કે તારી વાત કરવામાં આવે છે. Means when you have been told about the soul, Gurudev said, when you have been told about the soul, that means they are talking about you. And at that time, it is so important that you should have a goosebump all over you because it's your talks going on. It's not some third entity as a soul that we are talking. It's me, myself, we are talking about. So simultaneously is a praman jnana. A praman is different essence from aggregate of nai. See that one. This is very kind of a little tricky bullet over here. Aggregate from nai are there. Aggregate nai means whose father I am, whose son I am, whose grandfather I am, whose grandchild I am, whose uncle I am, whose nephew I am, whose all kind of things that I know that call one little thing that I see from different angle, that is called one aspect of a reality. Somebody calls me Kirit Kaka, that means you know that he is uncle and the person talking to him is his nephew.
So in our context, દ્રવ્ય ગુણ પર્યાયની પ્રમાણ જ્ઞાનમાં એક સાથે એના ભેદ પાડીને બી કરી શકો, અભેદ પાડીને બી કરી શકો, પણ ઈ ત્રણ એટલે બધાયની everything is included.
Because when you are talking that it's a soul from soul's perspective, or when you're talking soul from eternal infinite attribute perspective, or soul when you're talking from modal perspective, actually you are taking one small little part of the whole existence of the soul. So it says that total soul is beyond all these small little small little angles that you are talking about. When you are talking a mango, from the eye perspective, it's an orange color. From the smell perspective, it's a sweet smell. From the touch perspective, it's a soft to touch. And from a taste perspective, it's sweet in nature. But it's a whole mango is whole mango. There is no separate touch. There is no separate smell. There is no. They are one unit. They are in one unit. So, praman.
So અનુભવ પ્રમાણ જ્ઞાનમાં included થઈ જાય.
Yeah, anubhav, I just said praman jnana means when you are experiencing in total. In total, you are experiencing, and in the unique, in indivisible pattern, you are experiencing. For our purpose, remember that fourth stanza, eighth stanza, that it says, Bhasha anarya vinana samaja vishakaya anarya ne vyavaharvan paramatma updesh emasakya che. Means, us people, we have not experienced soul substance. So, Acharya Bhagavan says, when I say, hey, I experience soul substance, what does it mean? Nothing. But now Acharya Bhagavan says that soul is an infinite attribute, there is a knowledge attribute, conduct attribute, faith attribute, and they are the mode. So now he talks about divisional pattern of the soul. And he conveys to me the divisional pattern, but tells me that, listen, try to understand in the indivisible pattern, though the medium of presentation is divisional aspect. So here also, when praman has a different essence from aggregate of nai, means the nai gives only one perspective, that praman jnana is comprehensive, indivisible. That's the word is important, indivisible. So that way we have to understand that praman jnana. It's one essence, one whole unit, indivisible, with the infinite attribute and infinite mode and all those things, but they are in one unit way. Negation is preceded by affirmation and vice versa. The knowledge which is comprehended, the union of these two is praman. Now, over here, it says, for example, that soul is having consciousness. Soul is having consciousness attribute. Okay, that's an affirmation. Soul does not have taste, touch, color, smell attribute. One time it says it is having consciousness. Having means affirmation, and not having touch, taste, smell, color is a negative perspective. And so both the things combined also is called Praman Jnana. Other way of saying that soul is one and soul is infinite in nature. Soul is one from the unique aspect that even the soul has an infinite attribute and infinite mode, everything, but they all are in one unit. So soul is one from that perspective. But if I talk from the modal perspective, then infinite modes are present in the soul. So that way soul can be said infinite in nature. So now there are two exactly opposite things we are talking. One and infinite. So there are two, but that is called comprehensive knowledge. So affirmation and negation both are there, but they combine together makes a complete pattern of Praman Jnana, means comprehensive knowledge. I am a man and I'm not a woman. I'm a man gives us some perspective, but when I say I'm not a woman from negation perspective, then my manhood gets that much solidified, and that's called Praman Jnana. Acharya Aklank defines Praman as follow. Now these are very, Acharya Aklank occurred in the 11th century and everything, and there are so many. This Praman actually is a whole new science, whole new chapter, whole new philosophical one part of the comprehensive knowledge. About the Jain scriptures, So Praman comes from Nyaya perspective. Nyaya means a logic perspective, and so it's a totally different field of spirituality we are entering. Again, just to understand, so we have to have some knowledge about all these things. Because Gurudev says that, remember, you got to know these things, but know those things and accept what is good for you to convince yourself. If something gets convinced to yourself, it's okay if you don't go in extreme nitty-gritty thing about those things. Conviction is very important. All these things are done for conviction purpose, and conviction is proper. That means I understand it better. That means I can go within. Then I know exactly what to look for it. So Acharya Aklank says, Praman, it's nature to reveal itself as well as its object, and there is a harmony as the true mark of cognition. It's very complicated definition, so I won't worry about it. At least I know what Praman Jnana is, and that's all it counts for me right now. Praman definition according to Pariksha Mukh Sutra. Now, there is a Pariksha Mukh is a Nyaya. See, right now, Samaysar, Pravachansa, Ashtapahud, Panchastika, and Niyamsa, they are called Adhyatmik Granth. Means they are related to the metaphysics of the soul. Then there is a logical part of the whole philosophy on the other side, and in that whole philosophy of other side with the logic side, this is called Pariksha Mukh Shastra is one of the most important scripture is there, and in that one the definition of the Praman, it says Swa Purvarth Vyavasayatmak Jnanam Pramanam, and one can go in detail about it, and I have all the slides if you want to go for it. We will go through it, but it's not important for us to go that much detail and get lost. Right now, important thing is Praman Jnana is comprehensive knowledge about the soul. I have to know the soul's comprehensive knowledge. What's the soul about? And that's all I have to think about. Let's see now. No, I think I'll just go this one. I won't worry about this slide. Okay, so now the Acharya Manik Chand Swami, he wrote down Pariksamukh Sutra, Pariksamukh scripture, and in that one we are going to follow next several slides from that scripture and everything. So we will put the Samaysar on the back burner for next 2 or 3 classes, and we'll learn about this Praman comprehensive knowledge about it. So we will start this one next week. Actually, I'm going to avoid this whole thing. There are about 6 to 8 slides are there because they will just be more confusing, and we don't want to confuse everybody so much. So we will skip those slides and we'll go to whatever the nitty-gritty thing we have to know. Any questions so far? I think time is up, I think. Yeah. Oh, we are already up more than time over time. Any questions so far?
Kate, uncle, this previous slide, you said don't worry about it. Could you just go back to it for a second? I just wanted to take a picture of it because not this one, the one before it. A praman no definition juda sastra ma aipata ne.
This one? Yeah.
Thank you.
You want to take this one too? I'll share the slides with you people, okay? I mean, so that way you don't have to go through.
Who is Acharya Manikyan, Manik Anand Swami?
Manikyanan Swami. He is about 11th or 12th century, and he wrote down this Praman Gnan, means a comprehensive knowledge. It's called Nyay Granth. Nyay, Adhyatmik Granth, Agam Granth, Nyay Granth, and all kind of divisions are there in the scriptures. So this is kind of different philosophical aspect that we'll be talking about. But mainly, we are interested in Praman definition, Praman Gnan, which is very nicely explained in this scripture. You know?
Is he contemporary with Amrutchandra Acharya?
After Amrutchandra Acharya Dev, I think. I think after within similar time, 10th to 11th century. You know? Maybe in the 9th century. I don't remember exactly. I'll try to find it out. You know? Okay, so we'll make it a closing over here unless there's a question that we can entertain. Okay. Aho pakar jinvarano kundano dvani diya jina kunda dvani apya aho te durta jina kunda dvani apya aho bhagavati mata Jawani ke gyan se suze lokalo Soani nastatanam sada detanam 9 times no.
Jai Jinendra. Ichhamin.